think you're original, you ain't original. You were programmed to be you.
Julian Huxley, brother of the famous writer, helped organize UNESCO in 1945. In the founding document of UNESCO entitled UNESCO, Its Philosophy and Its Purpose, he argues that one of the key aims of the United Nations educational, scientific, and cultural organization would be the re-legitimization of eugenics, so that the idea would once again become thinkable. He also went on to co-found the World Wildlife Fund with Nazi SS officer Prince Bernhard of the Netherlands. Within a generation, science was once again ready to tell us why the only way to save humanity was to stop people from breeding. This time, the public was whipped into a furor not about Jews and gypsies, but about carbon dioxide and environmental sustainability. The cover had changed, but the racist eugenicist text remained the same. In the logic of the eugenicists, the meaning of human life is itself transformed. Instead of something valuable, something precious, something to be desired and nurtured, fought for and celebrated, humanity is reimagined as a cancer, something inherently evil, the mere existence of which is a burden on the world.
The Princess Diana situation, recap it for us, give us the history, what we've already known, now mainstream news. Lay it out for us, sir.
They kept her in the tunnel until she died, symbolically crucified, Princess of Wales, wrist hit with nails underneath the bridge of the moon goddess. Ancient cocoon of the lawless involved the Queen Mother's hand. Darkness was this heartless card of hearts that started in Wonderland. Need we say that their DNA strand was now a part of Buckingham, a Lemurian plan set in motion by a Sumerian man, would share a kiss across an ocean. Then the Merovingian clan would set up the city of Paris, where this sacred marriage of murder would occur. As I prefer to try to convince, the lion next to an Egyptian prince was the best description since the destruction of a Mercedes-Benz. The night a lady and an unborn baby and friends left the Ritz and drove fast past an obelisk with no wrist, and crashed and kissed the 13th pillar. Her birth had been to fulfill a ritual, subliminally transforming the physical into spiritual. Now let me tell you why. 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 Princess Di had to die with Dodi Fayed to complete the triad, or trinity, and to suppress the femininity, the true divinity of the goddess that forever remains flawless. It was August 31st, 12:15, as the reporters asked themselves if their path was more stealth. Was Henry Paul in poor health, or was he just under the influence from the time of the departure to being rushed in an ambulance? In the land of France, as they left the hotel's back entrance for a quick getaway, decoy deployed Range Rover, game's over as the paparazzi were led astray. Her car sped away, hoping to see a better day. Right from the start, they went in the wrong direction of his apartment, and to her guard, this meant that it was in his heart to prevent the cards that the seat dealt. That's why he felt the need to not strap on his seatbelt. Camera finger hits the trigger, flashing lights flicker, media messenger quicker. The proof is in the passenger's picture, ambassador's mixture of liquor that was given to her driver. But Trevor Reese Jones would be the only survivor of this sinister car crash. Her security captain was now mysteriously strapped in, allowing only him to exit from the star shaft. Now let me tell you why. 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 Princess Di had to die with Dodi Fayed to complete the triad, or trinity, and to suppress the femininity, the true divinity of the goddess that forever remains flawless. I'm only suggesting that British intelligence was testing her patience. Everywhere she went, there were agents, always under surveillance. Dodi had made arrangements to fly to France to pick up the ring of engagement. And of this there is a statement, department store still waiting for its payment. So with it, I planned to dig deeper than a gopher with exposure. When I mixed the chauffeur that drove her with an MI6 soldier, it's over. Now let me tell you why. 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 Princess Di had to die with Dodi Fayed to complete the triad, or trinity, and to suppress the femininity, the true divinity of the goddess that forever remains flawless. From the 2nd century, if it wasn't meant to be, why was it written in quatrain 28?
You were talking, and he started laughing. He said, Aaron, what do you think women's liberation was about? And I said, I had pretty conventional thinking about it at that point. I said, I think it's about women having the right to work, getting equal pay with men, just like they won the right to vote, you know? And he started to laugh. He said, you're an idiot. And I said, why am I an idiot? He said, let me tell you what that was about. We, the Rockefellers, funded that. We funded Women's Lib, you know? And we're the ones who got all over the newspapers and television, the Rockefeller Foundation. He says, and you want to know why? He said, there were two primary reasons. And they were, one reason was we couldn't tax half the population before Women's Lib. And the second reason was, now we get the kids in school at an early age. We can indoctrinate the kids how to think. It breaks up the family. The kids start looking at the state as the family, as the school, as the officials, as their family, not as the parents teaching them. And so those are the two primary reasons for Women's Lib, which I thought up to that point was a noble thing. You know, when I saw their intentions behind it, where they were coming from when they created it, the thought of it, I saw the evil behind what I thought was a noble venture. You know?
Let you has ears to hear. She's more than just a rusty old bag of nails. She's the red dragon on the flag of Wales. From once divided land comes the tribe of Dan. As this scribe at hand tries to describe her plan with more preciseness than a mind computer. She's lying to you, trying to fool you, claiming descent from David through the Lion of Judah. You read the Da Vinci Code and now you're buying the rumor. I'll never let the stone of destiny get the best of me, or be thrown upon as was shown a throne they suggest to me. Use once as a pillar for Jacob. Wake up as we watch them slowly fail. The Holy Grail becomes a fake couple. Elizabeth is a bitch. She is a bitch. Queen Elizabeth is a bitch. She is a bitch. This is a dedication to Elizabeth. A lizard's birth within the rich. Beware the dragon, the beast, and their false prophets. Beware the dragon, the beast, and their false prophet. Beware the dragon, the beast, and their false prophet. Of course, they're gonna ride the high horse until he falls off it. Beware the dragon, the beast, and their false prophets. Beware the dragon, the beast, and their false prophet. Beware the dragon, the beast, and their false prophet. Of course, they're gonna ride the high horse until he falls off it. The dragon gave her own power, throne, and authority to the firstborn beast, released on the majority. Body like a leopard with the feet of a bear, claiming descent from a shepherd, causing deceit and despair. Believe this, he's not only using Jesus to deceive us, but Islam's Muhammad, cause his mom blue-blooded this wisdom has flooded. A fact that remains spectacular. There is some that trace and track the veins back to Dracula. According to Hebrew geometry, it's no wonder that you can calculate his official title into the number of a man. Understand, before we make 600 to be scoring 6, there'll be more than tricks as Babylon whores for kicks. Most can't die twice unless you're the Antichrist. So as he snarls over a large cup of tea, I offer a hand of rice when I get asked advice regarding why I don't want Charles in charge of me. Beware the dragon, the beast, and their false prophets. Beware the dragon, the beast, and their false prophet. Beware the dragon, the beast, and their false prophet. Of course, they're gonna ride the high horse until he falls off it. Beware the dragon, the beast, and their false prophets. Beware the dragon, the beast, and their false prophet. Beware the dragon, the beast, and their false prophet. Of course, they're gonna ride the high horse until he falls off it. The second beast unleashed would feast as a priest, uprise like yeast, creating lies about the East. The Vatican's mannequin, unspoken force like Anakin. This Trojan horse, keeper of the broken cross, cannot win. He opened doors and ran on it, provoking wars. I laugh a bit, fact if I am accurate, most don't know the half of it. The path is lit and split between a Catholic and Baphomet, and after it is split, they'll admit the deception was immaculate. That's why I'm cracking the whip while reading the writing on the wall. Just like the captain of the ship, John Paul, Babylon must fall. Who in their right mind in the name of heaven kills? Looking you might find who to blame on 7 hills. I don't mean to ramble on, but until this obstacle's gone, I'll be impossible to con like the Apostle Tom in the Gospel of John.
Babylon the Great is fallen. Babylon the Great is fallen.
Beware the dragon, the beast, and their false prophets. Beware the dragon, the beast, and their false prophets. Beware the dragon, the beast, and their false prophet. Of course, they're gonna ride the high horse until he falls off it. Beware the dragon, the beast, and their false prophets. Beware the dragon, the beast, and their false prophets. Beware the dragon, the beast, and their false prophet. Of course, they're gonna ride the high horse until he falls off it. Let you has ears to hear. 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 Elizabeth is a bitch. She is a bitch. Queen Elizabeth is a bitch. She is a bitch. This is a dedication to Elizabeth. A lizard's birth within the rich. From the palace of Buckingham to the chalice of Uncle Sam, it's all Alice in Wonderland. From the palace of Buckingham to the chalice of Uncle Sam, it's all Alice in Wonderland.
So what does that mean? If there's a bustle in your hedgerow, what's a hedgerow? Well, it's a hedge. It's like hedge goes around your yard. Traditionally, it was for protection. Nowadays, people use it for decoration, but it's also for protection. It's like a living fence. Some people plant thorn bushes as a hedge. It's kind of hard to get through. A hedge is like for protection. If there's a bustle, that's a fast movement. If there's a bustle, fast movement in your hedge, your protection, don't be alarmed. It's just a sprinkling for the May Queen. What does that mean? The May Queen. The May Queen was always like, well, one of the biggest occult holidays of the year is May 1st, May Day. They have the maypole, which is basically a giant penis. And the pagan people are into fertility worship. Worshipping the penis is a big deal, as well as the vagina. And the pagans would usually have sacrifices for the May Queen. The May Queen was like the head queen. And the May Eve. May Eve is the day before May Day. That's April 30th, which just happened to be when this incident with Queen Beatrix happened. A sprinkling, well, it's like in baptism, they'll do a sprinkling. In some religions, like a baptism, it's a sprinkling. It's a blood sprinkling. It means a blood sprinkling. So this particular line is talking about blood sacrifice to the May Queen on May Eve for the May Eve celebration, which is exactly what this was. The town is called Appledore. Apple has a lot of occult significance to pagan people. That whole song, Stairway to Heaven, has got all kinds of occult meaning. Backwards, it's got prayers to Satan. I'm not even going to get into that in this video. Note she's wearing a blood red dress. She's also wearing a red hat. That's significant. She's the only one wearing a hat. That's significant. That has occult significance. Black car, white bus, number 11. Finally found out what 11, the significance. How all this 11 stuff, 9/11. All these movies come out on 11, 3/11, 9/11, 11/11.
I study scrolls from the library in Nag Hammadi, discovered in 1945 by Muhammad Ali. Also books that were unearthed within the Qumran community, as many fight to shield the truth and try to keep it from you and me. Ancient secrets that would first topple an Egyptian plateau that would one day find themselves underneath Renla's chateau. Knowledge once buried info carried from Solomon's temple. Stories vary, some of them scary, but all of them simple. Look into my eyes, there's no surprise that I've got a slight temper towards the lies in disguise of the modern day Knights Templar. Realize from the size of the recognized architecture that the wise have hidden prize that can hypnotize and spark a lecture. I don't mean to preach, but to teach that each founding father dreamed in prophecy and demonocracy should have been drowned in water. From King George VI passing his town and crown to his daughter, as many climate degrees dropping to their knees, bowing down to her garter. How many times, how many rhymes, how many crimes need to be committed till you'll admit that they were behind it? Don't be blinded or narrow-minded. Become one of the Pharaoh kind kids, exposing Freemasons from America's commander-in-chief. The Nova Scotia's Alexander Keith, like Captain Morgan, that panhandler and thief. So what's more important than a Mayan calendar belief? Exposing Freemasons from America's commander-in-chief. The Nova Scotia's Alexander Keith, like Captain Morgan, that panhandler and thief. So what's more important than a Mayan calendar belief? You better make sure that the laces of your Pumas are tight, cause if the rumors are right, the Loomis at night have got the baby boomer consumers in fright with their continuous bright, luminous light. You better make sure that the laces of your Pumas are tight, cause if the rumors are right, the Loomis at night have got the baby boomer consumers in fright with their continuous bright, luminous light. I get an actual pleasure exposing Disney's national treasure. Somebody pinch me. Everybody's trying to decipher the code of Da Vinci. Sacred geometry, math that you measure. Hard technology is some laugh at the weather. From their chapters and their lodges, men act as if they know who God is. They're the hidden hand, take a forbidden land, never giving a damn if you sit or stand, they spit on man. How many times, how many rhymes, how many crimes need to be committed till you'll admit that they were behind it? Don't be blinded or narrow-minded. Become one of the Pharaoh kind kids, exposing Freemasons from America's commander-in-chief. The Nova Scotia's Alexander Keith, like Captain Morgan, that panhandler and thief. So what's more important than a Mayan calendar belief? Exposing Freemasons from America's commander-in-chief.